Two children are missing. Their newlywed parents believed to be on the run, and 3 of their family members, all within the last 6 months, are found dead. We'll explain the timeline on this confusing case and the latest updates from police.
A referendum against tax reform is gaining steam from both sides of the aisle. The big names that support it and what Governor Herbert has to say about it.
Caught on camera, we have video of one package delivery that one family says made their Christmas.
It looks like we've got some winter weather on the way. We'll have the holiday forecast conditions coming up.
It's like the Grinch who stole Christmas. All of this family's lawn decorations stolen just days before the holiday, but an unlikely Secret Santa brought something even better back. We have the story coming up.
Live from Fox 13 Studios, this is Fox 13 News at 9.
First on Fox 13, we're just 2 days away from Christmas, and we're getting a close eye on stormy weather ahead. Right now, you can see on the satellite radar there some precipitation over the Salt Lake Valley, but even more is on the way as the holiday approaches.
Yeah, some areas already seeing that Christmas storm tonight. We're going to get right to meteorologist Dina Friedman with your first alert forecast. Dina.
Well, good evening. We definitely have some precipitation on the way, as you just heard, and some of that in the form of snowfall at some of our highest elevations. Snowbird already reporting 2 inches in the last 12 hours. And we have a winter weather advisory for this batch of precipitation that we're seeing off to the south. And with that winter weather advisory, that goes all the way through on about Tuesday morning. So what that really means is that we've got this advisory conditions for some of our highest elevations here, and that's going to go until about Tuesday afternoon, into Christmas Eve. But coming up, we're going to take a closer look at our forecast, and we do have some precipitation on the way for Christmas as well. And we also have some winter weather to talk about. It looks like it is going to be a white Christmas, but just by a little bit. So we'll take a closer look at all those details in just a little while.
The FBI and police across the country are searching for 2 missing children from Rexburg, Idaho. They may be in serious danger. 7-year-old Joshua Vallow and 17-year-old Tylee Ryan have been missing since September. Their newlywed parents have been on the run for the past month.
Fox 13's Adam Herbets has been following the case. He has a look at how this developing story has played out so far.
Well, John Kelly, as this case develops, we expect there will be more points to add to this timeline, but this is what we know so far. Let's start July 11th, 2019. At this point, the kids were doing well, but they witnessed the death of their father, Charles Vallow, in Chandler, Arizona. He was shot and killed by Lori Vallow's brother, a man named Alex Cox. Alex said the shooting was in self-defense, but the case is still under investigation.
This incident started with an argument, a family argument.
Fast forward now to September 23rd. This is the last time anyone reported seeing the children, JJ and Tylee, at school in Rexburg, Idaho, but nobody reported them missing until about 2 months later. We'll get to that in a little bit, but first let's talk about Chad Daybell's wife, Tammy. Her dad tells me she was alive and well on October 4th. She drove down from Rexburg to visit her parents in Springville, Utah, but 2 weeks later, on October 19th, the parents got a call from Chad saying Tammy went to bed coughing and never woke up. At the time, doctors said she died from natural causes at the age of 49. Within 2 weeks of Tammy's death, Chad married Lori Vallow, who, as you remember, has been a widow now for about 3 months. On November 26th, family members started to get concerned. They hadn't heard from the kids, JJ or Tylee. They asked for a welfare check, and police said the newlyweds lied about the children's location.
We've gotten pretty much the runaround.
I don't know what happened to those kids. I know that there's people who do and they're not talking.
You've used the word cult. What do you mean by that?
Their focus is just so much on the end of the world and, this idea that it's coming.
The next day, Rexburg police served a search warrant. They found out Chad and Lori left their home abruptly, so they called in the FBI.
If I could say anything to them, I would just say, tell the truth,
At this point, police determined the death of Chad's wife, Tammy Daybell, may be suspicious. So on December 11th, they went to her gravesite in Springville and exhumed her body for further testing. The day after that, Lori Vallow's brother, Alex Cox, died in Gilbert, Arizona. Remember, this is the same man who shot and killed her husband back in July, and police are not releasing any details about his death. Again, the whereabouts of the 2 children are still unknown.
I don't care where they're at. We'll go get them. But just let us know where they're at.
Reporting in studio, Adam Herbets, Fox 13 News, Utah.
In a statement to East Idaho News, an attorney for Chad and Lori had to say this, quote, Chad Daybell was a loving husband and has the support of his children in this matter. Lori Daybell is a devoted mother and resents assertions to the contrary. We look forward to addressing the allegations once they have moved beyond speculation and rumor.
In southern Utah, police in St. George are looking for several suspects after an armed robbery at a motel this morning. Our partners at the St. George News report that shortly after 10:30, officers responded to the Super 8 motel on St. George Boulevard after a guest was robbed at gunpoint. Police say the suspects took off in an SUV that may have headed south on I-15. The suspects were gone by the time police arrived. Call St. George Police if you have any information. And the city of Logan is warning people tonight about a possible phone scam that's making the rounds. Phone calls are being made from someone claiming to be with Rocky Mountain Power, saying the power will be shut off if a payment is not received. Logan city officials say Rocky Mountain Power does not serve Logan residents, so this claim is bogus. Also, Logan City will not be doing any shutoffs for non-payment through the end of this week. And a grassroots movement picking up some steam to put the newly passed tax overhaul bill on the November ballot.
Fox 13's Lauren Steinbrecher explains how supporters have huge hopes for a referendum, but will face some big challenges to get there. Lauren.
Yeah, Kelly, so today sponsors turned in their first batch of signatures, which is the first hurdle in this. And hours later, candidates for Utah governor signed their support for the referendum. And then Governor Gary Herbert responded.
There's 49 in this packet.
The first 49 names of people who want a do-over on deciding tax reform.
They're upset.
Judy Weeks-Roner is turning in the first batch of signatures for a referendum that would put the massive tax overhaul bill in the hands of Utah voters next year. The bill passed by the legislature in special session this month cuts the income tax but raises sales taxes on things like food, gas, and a laundry list of services.
This is wrong. This is absolutely terrible.
Sentiments shared during a press conference Monday where candidates and groups from both sides of the political aisle came together to support the referendum.
Sometimes what looks good on paper isn't always what's best.
The tax on food does not fit with the ethos of who we are.
We don't know what's going to happen. This was like opening a Pandora's box.
So the candidates put their signatures in the box as tax referendum picks up momentum. On the same day, Governor Herbert responded to the movement.
People can have a counterbalance to the legislature, and so I understand that.
But stood by his view on the bill.
This is not perfect, but it's kind of a step in the right direction.
The grassroots effort has a short window of time to make it happen. By January 21st, that's less than a month, they'll need to turn in 116,000 signatures from at least 15 different counties. Well, make that 115,951 after Monday's submission.
Well, there's a first time for everything, Judy.
There is.
With volunteer power, Judy believes they can hit that mark.
It's just like that little train. I think I can. We think we can. We're gonna do it.
People sponsoring the referendum say they've raised more than $13 grand in a matter of days to print signature packets. They say they'll be busy over the holidays gathering volunteers and signatures. Live in studio, Lauren Steinbrecher, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Thanks, Lauren. A Big Buddha and the Fox 13 Dream Team, they were out and about today, sneaking up on random people, helping them out with some holiday gifts. Check this out.
Ornaments in this box numbered 1 through 13.
Yes.
And you choose one and then you get a gift.
No way. $200. I'm so glad you pulled that number, and I hope it. Can I hug you? I want to give you a hug. Oh my. I hope it helps.
Pretty exciting. Christmas cheer. You know, we do love meeting our viewers and helping out a little, especially this time of year. And that young lady right there received our biggest gift today. The full Dream Team segment. You've got to find out what she won. All the surprises coming up tomorrow morning on Good Day Utah.
Coming up on Fox 13 News at 9.
An unexpected move today that means tens of thousands of Utahns who did not have health coverage soon will.
It took long enough, but Merry Christmas, Utah.
But there are some strings attached when Medicaid fully expands.
Christmas decorations stolen just days before the holiday. We'll tell you why one West Jordan family isn't letting it kill their Christmas spirit.
The Utah Jazz are on a 5-game win streak, their longest this season. Can they keep it rolling against an elite Miami Heat?
Welcome back. In national news tonight, we start in California, where a fault is active again after nearly 500 years.
Experts say the Garlock Fault is linked to a swarm of quakes that hammered Southern California this past summer, including a 6.4 and a 7.1 earthquake just a day apart. Scientists say this fault is big enough to cause damage in the Bay Area and Los Angeles, with longer and more intense shaking that could trigger a catastrophic earthquake.
As much as 20 seconds of early warning. 20 seconds, that's not an insignificant amount of time.
And while California's governor recently unveiled a free app that can send out alerts when the ground is shaking, there is still no way to predict when or where that will happen.
A scary night for a Pennsylvania mother and her young son. They're safe now after two men attacked their home with a Molotov cocktail. A woman and that child were asleep inside, unaware of the flames just outside their window. Wow. Check it out right there. As police search for the suspects and motives, some neighbors call this brazen act disturbing.
Also tells you what type of world we live in now. You have to say, okay, I'm going to burn somebody's house down because of hatred that I have towards you. It's something that should not be happening.
The woman who lives at that house told investigators she does not recognize the two men on this video.
A Unified Fire wants you to know what to do just in the event that perhaps a fire does break out in your own kitchen this holiday season.
Yeah, most home fires start in the kitchen and many originate on stovetops. Earlier today, UFA discussed and demonstrated several ways to handle grease fires.
We see an uptick in calls related to fires here, related to cooking during the holiday season. 85% of all residential fires initiate in the kitchen. So that's pretty preventable. So we're going to talk about ways you can mitigate that. One of the biggest keys is to make sure you're paying attention to what's going on.
And UFA recommends having a fire extinguisher near an exit in your kitchen so it's both easily accessible and you can escape if you need to. New at 9 tonight, a family in West Jordan is extending a big thank you to an unlikely Secret Santa after thieves took a half a dozen of their inflatable Christmas decorations.
It's just a Grinch thing to do this time of year. And the family says it happened early Saturday morning, and the whole thing was caught on their doorbell camera. Fox 13's Elle Thomas shares their story.
Here at the Dickies, it's all about spreading Christmas cheer.
I love to decorate.
Lights are hung from the garage with care. If you check the front lawn, Old St. Nick and Frosty are already there. When the sun goes down, the lights come on.
When I come home from work and you turn the corner, you just see all the lit up.
Bringing a twinkle and tradition.
When the grandkids were little, they would help me blow them up. It's like, this is my memory with the grandkids.
To this busy corner on Cougar Lane.
It means a lot to me that I have some blow-ups out there.
But this year's display is looking a little light.
The sleigh and the deer here. And then I have a Dalmatian with another dog connected to it. And then my 6-foot dog, and then a Christmas tree.
An unexpected guest paid them a visit Friday night.
They came and they pulled this cord here and then just swooped them all away. They took 1, 2, 3, 4 of them.
The Grinch.
I actually opened the window all the way and looked and just started freaking out. I just started bawling.
Their spirits felt as empty as their yard.
I try to make it pretty, you know, and then they take it away from me.
Until one day, a Secret Santa.
It says Happy Holidays from the Park Center Home Depot. Some guy pulled up right here and brought the reindeer and then the snowman and the Santa Claus.
So now their lawn may not be as full as it was before.
I started crying.
But their hearts are even fuller.
There's people out there that still care. They're still nice people.
Chrissy says they are going to file a report with West Jordan Police just in case this Grinch decides to strike again. Still, they are so grateful someone helped bring a little bit of that Christmas spirit back. In West Jordan, Elle Thomas, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Happy ending there. I think Frosty wants some frostier weather, Dina.
Some snow, maybe?
You know, people always look to the meteorologist to like create the white Christmas.
You can't do that?
Come on, Dina.
You don't have
Your
the powers
wish.
to do that?
Yes.
That's why we brought you here
That's
tonight.
right. Okay, so we've got some great news for you tonight. Yeah, there's some active weather moving in. For people who like all of the snow and the rain, that's a good thing. Okay, the Oquirrh Mountain camera at this hour just shows we've had mostly cloudy skies for the past few hours. And with that, we've had a little bit of rain coming out, but not much of it really hitting the ground. The bigger weather story is off to the south, where we have a winter weather advisory for all the the counties that you see here in purple, and that goes until tomorrow night. That's on Christmas Eve. So looking at our satellite and radar picture together, we can see some of the active weather that we've had in northern Utah tonight, but again, a lot of it just not hitting the ground. We've had some snow, though, at our highest elevation. Snowbird reporting about 2 inches there. And then we've got more active weather kind of moving in as we go through the overnight and tomorrow starts to saturate our layers just a little bit. As we go down to the south, though, you can see some of this snow now moving in. We had rain reported earlier in Cedar City and St. George, and we have that winter weather advisory for our mountainous locations, especially here along I-89 and Highway 12 going through Escalante and Boulder. We're going to have some pretty treacherous conditions there in the next 24 hours, expecting nearly 7 to 14 inches of snow for the southern Utah mountains. So this system going to meander off to the east, so we will see active weather across the southern half of the state in the next 24 hours. But as far as what's happening for much of us, we're just going to see that the southern mountains getting the snow. And in the north, mostly a rain-snow mix, changing to all snow by Christmas morning. And the snow totals, though, in the north, and including our mountain ranges, fairly low, just a couple of inches here. So overnight, we've got the clouds and just a little bit of rain mixing with snow here, generally pretty warm. Temperatures in the 40s. It's warm out there now. This is incredibly warm for this late at night in December. It's 43 in Salt Lake, 43 in Bountiful, 33 in Colville. And in eastern Utah, it's still pretty mild here at 29 in Moab and 44 in St. George. The past few days, temperatures have been near average, but then yesterday on Sunday and into today, we were in the 50s. We had a high today of 51 and a low of only 43. That's warm, 20 degrees above average. So the big question is the white Christmas story. Well, what are the odds? Let's look at some stats, because that's always a fun thing. So we've got some data here from about 1928 to 2018. 0.1 inch or more, so 1/10 of an inch, you got a 30% occurrence. An inch or more, so past occurrence is 20%. 6 inches or more in the past, 80 years or so, 90 years. Yeah, that's happened about 2% of the time. So it looks like we're going to have about an inch of snow. So we're in that 20% range. So that certainly looks good. Here's this area of low pressure. As we get the cold air behind it, that's where we switch some of that precipitation over from rain to snow in northern Utah. Again, mostly rain across the south, except at those higher elevation areas, seeing heavy snow tonight and tomorrow. So for much of us tonight, it's going to be fairly mild, cloudy, and it's just going to be a little bit on the wet side. So there'll be just some light rain mixing with snow. Temperatures in the 30s here, 36 in Salt Lake tonight, 36 in Provo, 29 in Moab, rain in St. George at 40. Cedar City, rain mixing with snow there for you. And then tomorrow afternoon, again, you've got the rain mixing with snow. Look at the temperatures here in Salt Lake, 45. That's just too warm for an all-snow event. The coldest air really starts to move in Christmas Eve into Christmas Day and into the morning there. So it won't switch over to all snow until Christmas morning. So we'll have just a little bit of a dusting on the ground. And then in the afternoon, St. George, some rain there for you. Temperatures in the 40s. And again, some rain mixing with snow in our highest elevations, including our ski areas tomorrow in northern Utah. It will be snowing. It'll be on and off light snow. So do be expecting some of that going on in the afternoon. And I think really the word of the day for many of us is gray. It's going to be kind of a gray day with a little bit of rain mixing with snow on and off. So our 7-day forecast, though, in southern Utah, we've got those rain showers in there, and then it just stays with temperatures in the 40s after Christmas. So it kind of stays around 45 degrees all the way through the weekend. So we've got the rain tomorrow mixing with a little bit of snow, switching to just the light snow showers for the Christmas morning, and temperatures in the 30s. And then we stay in the 30s all the way through the weekend. So certainly much more seasonable air temperatures. Only in the 40s this morning. That is warm.
It does not feel like December out there.
No, but it will.
Eventually.
It will
This
change.
is the perfect snowfall because it really won't impact travelers.
A little, especially if people are going too fast on the roads. They still need to slow down.
It could be a little slick.
Yes, slick.
But it's the right mixture to just kind of look like
Just
glitter
enough.
Yes.
falling from the air.
Yes.
I like it, Dina.
Good.
Nice job. Glad you're here.
Hey, sure.
Still ahead, hundreds of people get some extra help for the holidays. How the Crossroads Urban Center is making sure people have meals for Christmas.
And there are a few things as panic-inducing as seeing flashing red and blue lights behind your car. Coming up, how police turn traffic stops into some happy moments today.
Live from Fox 13 Studios, this is Fox 13 News at 9.
Welcome back. Thousands of Utah's homeless and low-income families felt the Christmas spirit this morning at an event hosted by the Rescue Mission of Salt Lake. Along with a Christmas banquet, the event included a giveaway of hundreds of coats and warm clothes, a visit from Santa for the kids, and some basic medical services.
Rescue Mission has been privileged to partner with Salt Lake County today to do flu shots and pneumonia shots and just a quick checkup to make sure everybody's healthy. And if they're not healthy, then we can make a referral to local clinics to help people in greater need.
The Rescue Mission has been helping the homeless and the impoverished community since 1972.
More holiday help here. Families in need in Salt Lake walked away with all the food they'll need for a full holiday meal, thanks to the Crossroads Urban Center. The nonprofit is helping to feed up to 800 families with their Christmas baskets. Today, people lined up at Roland Hall School to get a turkey, stuffing, sides, and dessert.
And this is an opportunity during the holidays to just do something extra for the people that depend on us.
The organization has distributed Christmas food baskets for decades, and lending a helping hand today, Governor Gary Herbert. Well, it can be a stressful time of year. We all know that. Yeah, you may be feeling it right now, but imagine adding to that stress getting pulled over by police.
That's what happened to several people today, but what happened next may be different than what you might think. Here's Fox 13's Amy Nay.
What? Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Members of law enforcement throughout the Salt Lake Valley Monday taking part in Team Operation Giveaway.
We want to make sure that they know that law enforcement is there to support them, to protect them.
Attorney General Sean Reyes prepping his team of officers from a number of different agencies. All items and the cash donated from local businesses and from a recent toy drive in honor of the fallen Unified Police officer Doug Barty.
Even today is still contributing and giving back to the community.
You like fire trucks?
Mary Benavides was with her son when they were stopped.
I thought I was in trouble for backing up or maybe zigzagging because I was like digging in my purse.
No warning or citation issued in this case, but a gift Mary says she believes came after she and her family tried to pay it forward this season.
Ironically, this year I did set up a GoFundMe for a little boy that didn't have a computer to do school. So, you know, I think this is somewhat a little bit of karma.
Police department rocks.
Gary Garcia was on his way home after visiting a local cemetery.
I'm like, what did I do? I'm like, why am I being pulled? I was doing everything okay.
Officers giving his grandson an armful of presents.
Yep, I'm happy.
And Gary some cold hard cash.
This is so cool. I've had a lot of health problems this last part of the year, and it's been really hard for us. And this is way cool. It's helped out a lot.
Amy Nay, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Coming up after the break.
I'm Aaron Cox, and coming up next, I'm going to show you what was caught on this camera that one family says made their Christmas.
Signs are posted warning the homeless not to stay overnight.
These are crucial items for people in that situation that are needed to survive.
Why the ACLU says the health department signs are a violation of people's rights.
Live from Fox 13 Studios, this is Fox 13 News at 9.
We have an update to a story Fox 13 first broke earlier this morning. The state of Utah is implementing full Medicaid expansion. You may remember it is what voters approved last year, but lawmakers overrode.
Now it's back in a big way. Fox 13's Ben Winslow is on Capitol Hill with more.
Voters approved it. The Utah State Legislature overrode it. But now the state is implementing full Medicaid expansion.
It took long enough, but Merry Christmas, Utah. You know, full expansion is a big win.
It'll provide health care coverage for 40,000 more of Utah's needy.
We're open for the expansion up to 100% today, and then starting January 1st, it'll be up to 138.
they should come in and apply and see if they're eligible.
After the legislature wouldn't implement it years ago, voters approved full Medicaid expansion under Proposition 3 and a sales tax hike to pay for it. Fearing a budget buster, the legislature overrode that earlier this year, implementing its own version of Medicaid with this as the fallback.
This was the third step outlined in Senate Bill 96.
It'll cover people who make up to 138% of the federal poverty level. That's about $1,400 a month. The sales tax hike voters approved will cover the costs, but Utah's plan still has some strings attached. There's a work requirement.
It also has a requirement that individuals, if they have access to their employer-sponsored insurance, that they actually enroll in that coverage, and then Medicaid helps them pay the premium.
The work requirement could face a legal challenge, but healthcare advocates are still happy.
There's a lot of question marks still. We have a work requirement, which is bad news. We can talk about another day. But yeah, today we ended up pretty much with what voters are asking for, with some strings attached.
Here on Capitol Hill, Republican leaders say they're okay with the decision. The House Speaker and Senate President say this is a Utah solution that will still save taxpayers millions. Democrats are also happy, but blame Republicans for delaying the inevitable.
Better late than never. We're here, we can celebrate, and we can get people signed up, finally.
On the Hill, Ben Winslow, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Now to an update from state health officials on vaping-related illnesses. The Utah Department of Health says there are 125 documented cases of vaping-related lung injury. There's still only one death reported here in Utah. The specific cause of the illnesses is being investigated, but health officials believe it is related to illegal THC cartridges. They recommend not vaping any THC cartridge until the results come in.
3 people are out of their home tonight after a fire broke out at a mobile home park in West Valley City. Firefighters say an electrical issue may have sparked the fire in the home near 3300 West and 2800 South just after midnight. 3 people did live inside the home. Only one was there at the time. They did make it out safely. Firefighters say it's likely a total loss of more than $100,000 in damages.
An off-duty Utah County Sheriff's Sergeant is being praised for catching a DUI suspect who ran from the scene of a crash. The sergeant was driving near 800 North and 800 West last Thursday when he saw a Hyundai Elantra swerving in and out of its lane. The driver lost control, hit a tree, and then rolled the car. He then ran from the scene. The sergeant caught up, but since he was off duty, he used his belt to handcuff that suspect. The driver was booked into the Utah County Jail.
In southern Utah, 3 hikers are safe after getting stuck in Snow Canyon for 7 hours. That was a long wait. Last Friday, the group had made their way to the top of Island in the Sky. That's inside the state park, but they didn't have enough rope to rappel back down. The Washington County Sheriff's Office and Search and Rescue called in the high-angle ropes team. The team used a drone to locate the lost hikers and light the way down. Rescuers say the group had researched the area well, but ran into some unexpected problems.
It looks like some terrifying terrain out there. Well, the ACLU is accusing the Salt Lake County Health Department of not following its own rules when they clean up homeless encampments.
And as Fox 13's Tamara Vaifanua reports, they may be violating people's due process rights.
The dispute is over these notices posted in Library Square. The Salt Lake County Health Department warns folks that overnight camping is prohibited. Police will clear people out and toss out anything left behind. For many, it's all they have.
So it's not fair. We don't have anything. We can't take care of ourselves.
These are crucial items for people in that situation that are needed to survive.
ACLU attorney Jason Grohl says health leaders may be violating people's rights. In a letter to the Salt Lake County Health Department, the ACLU accuses them of not properly notifying people how they can challenge this notification and get their stuff back.
Just because you lose your home doesn't mean that you lose your constitutional rights.
Nicholas Rupp with the Salt Lake County Health Department says the ACLU is confused. The cleanup postings are not a formal notice of violation, meaning there are no arrests or fees. So they're not required to provide information on how to contest the notice. Rupp goes on to say, we are sensitive to the issue of homelessness in our community. Overnight camping on public or private property, however, poses significant risk of unsanitary conditions and for the physical safety of both the campers and others. Groth is waiting for an official response from the county. He is confident, though, that both sides can work out their differences. In Salt Lake City, Tamara Vaifanua, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Well, still to come, an animal in the wild trapped. See how police and DWR officers stepped in to save this moose's life.
And the live look outside right now. We don't have a lot of rain hitting the ground, but that will change, and there'll be some more active weather on the way for our holiday. Today's high was about 51, and it was really warm this morning with a low of only 43. We'll have the complete forecast for the holiday coming up.
You're watching Fox 13 News. Let's connect.
Some great video here. Police and DWR officers in Farmington wishing the local wildlife a Merry Christmas. The Department of Wildlife Resources shared this video of a rescue of a moose that somehow got stuck between two fences. With the help of Farmington City Police and the Davis County Sheriff's Office, they sedated that animal and then pulled her out. She was taken to a remote location up in the mountains where she is much more happier.
She's just going to have some leaves on her as
Yes.
she was dragged out of that area.
Glad she's safe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, another story caught on camera, a FedEx driver trying to spread some cheer while delivering a large package to a family in Stansbury Park last week.
Yeah, but the timing might have been a little off. Fox 13's Aaron Cox shows you, however, what the driver did to go out of his way to save Christmas in a story you'll only see here.
10-year-old Amber McDonald heard the doorbell ring, and what happened next was caught on camera.
Your parents here?
I love that. Replaying what their doorbell camera caught on Saturday night brings a smile to Amber and her mom, Heather's face.
He's trying to get in front of it and hide it.
Amber had been playing games on the computer at their Stansbury Park home when the doorbell rang.
When I opened it, I didn't see any box. I just saw the FedEx guy, but I didn't see the FedEx thing.
She didn't suspect a thing, and you can see why.
No. Your parents here?
As the door opened, the FedEx guy moves in front of the package, hiding Amber's Christmas gift from view.
He goes, I just wanted to get you to see this, so she didn't see it.
After he left, Heather and Amber struggled to carry the large box into their house.
It was bigger than me.
And then Amber noticed what was written on the bottom.
Bicycle riding can be hazardous.
It's a bike! And she gets all excited.
The gift discovered did not, however, ruin Amber's Christmas. In fact, the efforts by the FedEx guy warmed their hearts, making a Christmas always to be remembered.
He could have just left it at the door and been like, but he tried to hide it, which was, I thought was cool.
It was very touching to see that kind of concern of how she would feel.
The McDonald family is still looking for who the FedEx driver is so they can thank him and let them know he made their Christmas. In Stansbury Park, Aaron Cox, Fox 13 News, Utah.
They came with address tags. They came in the form of packages, boxes, and bags. We take you behind the scenes to see how the Postal Service is working hard to get your gifts to their destination.
I'm Andrea Urban, and coming up in sports, we've got Monday Night Football along with some new additions to the Jazz roster. Speaking of the Jazz, they're on a 5-game winning streak, their longest this season. Can they keep it rolling in Miami?
Oh, yes, sir. Live from Fox 13 Studios, this is Fox 13 News at 9.
Welcome back, everyone. We've got the countdown going now, just over 24 hours until Christmas. And many of you likely already have most of your Christmas shopping done.
Not all of us.
No, not all of us. Don't feel bad. You still have time. But do you have all your shipping done?
Yeah, Fox 13's Amanda Gary went behind the scenes inside one local post office. She's giving us a look at how much work goes into getting your gifts to their destinations.
2 more mailing days until Christmas. But that didn't stop present procrastinators from packing up their final boxes of Christmas spirit.
Because it's a homemade gift, I want to still make sure they get it for this year.
And get it by Christmas they will, but at a cost. A letter will cost you $25.50 to get there on time, compared to the obvious 55 cents.
Whatever the guy tells me we can get it there by Christmas, then that's what we're doing.
There's even a mailbox here, as well as several locations throughout the city for letters addressed to the big man himself.
We take all those letters that children mail at their home, get to their carriers, wherever. We scan them, and then we send them to the North Pole for Santa to read.
There's little to no limit for the post office. We take you behind the scenes of this huge facility to show you the magic behind this well-oiled machine.
So when you drop the letter in the lobby, it comes down these chutes into these hampers.
It's then taken to this sorting machine. That categorizes 35,000 letters a minute, most using this barcode you probably never even noticed was there. And then
we put a sleeve on the tray so the mail doesn't fall out. We assign it to a flight at the airport, and then it puts on that label for the airport, and then we send it out onto the dock.
From there, it comes by truck, plane, or both to your doorstep, or of course, the doorsteps of your friends and family.
So what did you make?
No, not until Christmas. In Salt Lake City, Amanda Gary, Fox 13 News, Utah.
And you know, sometimes weather can affect the shipping
Yes.
dates as well. That may not make it until Christmas. But right now, I think we're in the clear, Dina. At least nothing too severe.
At least not till Christmas.
Yes, at least not until Christmas. We just have some light rain in our forecast in northern Utah, at least for the overnight and into tomorrow. But we do have some significant weather in the south. Tribune camera right now just showing a pretty quiet night. We've mostly just had cloudy skies. It feels a little bit damp. It's been a little bit gray overnight. It'll still stay that way for our overnight hours in northern Utah. But our holiday storm that we're looking at, we still have a winter weather advisory through Christmas Eve, and that's for our southern central part of the state. And here is where we're going to see some snow moving in, especially at higher elevations, but lower elevation rain. Rain reported now in St. George, and you'll have a rain-snow mix in Cedar City. A lot of what we're seeing here in northern Utah not hitting the ground. It is hitting the ground at our highest elevations. We've got about 1 inch reported at Alta in the last, since about 4 o'clock this afternoon, and about 2 inches at Snowbird as well. So there's certainly a little bit of snow at our highest elevations, and then some of us just getting in on some light rain showers mixing in, and then a lot of people just not seeing anything. But what that's really called is virga, when you have this precipitation falling from the sky and just not even hitting the ground. It's just a big, great fake out, and that's what's been happening for the past few hours. But that will change as we kind of saturate things through the overnight. And we certainly do have a lot of cloud cover to deal with as well. Here's the storm in southern Utah, though. This will continue to move through, especially along this I-89 corridor and Highway 12. And some of our highest elevations here are going to see a lot of snow. That winter weather advisory is for about 7 to 14 inches in the southern portion of the state. And then this moisture progressively moves over the great state of Arizona to the Four Corners area and off to the east tomorrow. So it is going to be a wet day in southern Utah. So we've got that mountain snow at our southern Utah mountains and a rain snow mix in the north. Our ski areas in the north here and our Wasatch Mountains just seeing small amounts of snow between about 2 to 4 inches here, just kind of a refresher. So it'll certainly be fun for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day skiing, most definitely. Hour by hour overnight, just some very light rain mixing with some light snow. We're not expecting anything in the way of accumulation, but roads could still be slippery, so do be careful out there. Temperatures right now pretty mild. It's 43 in Salt Lake, 44 in Bountiful, and 36. Wow, that's really warm in Park City for nighttime temperatures. 28 in Green River. It's 39 in Blanding and 44 in St. George. Over the last few days, it's been a little bit warm. We had our temperatures hovering around average, and then we were in the 50s yesterday and today. Today we hit a high of 51 and the low this morning of only 43. That's incredibly warm. And so with that, though, that kind of leads our segue here into the white Christmas probability. So we're looking at the past about 100 years or so, and so the percent occurrence. So we've had Christmases with 0.1 inch or more at 30%. 1 inch or more 20% of the times, and 6 inches or more only 2%. So it looks like we're going to be in this range with about an inch or snow in the forecast on Christmas morning. Our long range forecast then, or really just the next few days, there's that area of low pressure, and as it moves over to the east, the cooler air wraps around behind it, and that's where you have the snow that will fall on Christmas Day in the morning. So Christmas Eve, some of any rain that's left will switch over to snow. So tomorrow, some light rain, and tonight, light rain mixing with a little bit of snow, not expecting accumulation here. And then in the south, we've got some heavier rain showers and some moderate snow, especially along those high elevations in southern Utah. And then tomorrow afternoon, it's just too warm for snow, 45 degrees in Salt Lake and in Provo. So some of that rain mixing in there. And again, rain in St. George, and again with the high elevation along that I-15 corridor and some of our mountains, the Tusher Mountains over by Beaver into Cedar City and Escalante, you're going to be seeing significant snow for the overnight and tomorrow afternoon. Our 7-day forecast in southern Utah, you've got the rain for Christmas, but then it starts to clear out for the weekend. And in northern Utah, we've got the rain mixing with snow and then more snow showers, just light snow on the way for Christmas Day.
Andrea Urban here with sports tonight. We're talking Jazz basketball, 5-game winning streak, but a tough matchup on the road in Miami.
You said it was a good fight, though.
It was.
Yes, and you said it perfectly. It was a great fight, down to the wire. Let's check it out. Jazz being tested tonight against an elite Miami team. Utah looking to keep that win streak alive. You hate to see it. Derek Jones Jr. with the two-handed slam over Gobert. Even he can't believe it. And back on the other end, Joe Ingles answers with this bullet of a three-point shot. He was 58% from behind the arc. Now, Jazz trailed by 1 at the half into the third. Gobert means business, reaching over the true 7-footer, absolutely throwing it down. Rudy with a double-double tonight. Now, check out this denial by Gobert. Rudy hosting a block party. He tallied 5 blocks. Jazz lead by 3 in the fourth, but this putback dunk began heating up the heat. Minutes later, it's Harrow with the pickup and 3, but don't count the Jasmine out. Final seconds of the game, Joe Ingles is a killer from downtown. He led with 27, count it, and a Rudy Gobert dunk pulls it within 3, but Miami is able to hang on, topping the Jazz 107-104.
You know, we're not in the mood for more victories anymore. You know, we've passed that point. I think this is a game we came in expecting to win, but you know that when you lose like that, I think there's certain possessions where it's like mental things that we could get back, and you can keep saying it, but you know that's what separates teams like ourselves. And they're at what, a 2 seed right now. We're a 6 seed. You know, we 3 seed. You know that we got to be able to execute late. We got to be able to execute on little things, and like I said, we'll get better and we'll see them again.
Earlier today, it was announced via ESPN that the Jazz traded Dante Exum and 2 future second-round picks for the Cavaliers' Jordan Clarkson. Clarkson currently averages 15 points per game and shoots 44% from the field. Plus, the Jazz have also signed Ray John Tucker from the Bucks G League. There he is, the rookie from Little Rock. How about a little Monday Night Football? The Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings, longtime rivals, clash for the NFC North title. But they both are alive for an even bigger prize, the conference's top seed. We head to Minneapolis. The Vikings have not lost at home this season. Early in the second, Kirk Cousins to Stephon Diggs, 21 yards and the only TD of the first half. Let's check in on the former BYU Cougar, Jamal Williams. He takes it 11 yards for the first down, which leads to a field goal for Green Bay. But now out of the half, the Packers are able to get in the end zone with this run by Aaron Jones, and he'll do it again in the fourth, tiptoeing, taken off down the sideline. Green Bay wins 23-10 over Minnesota. And we're just a day away from BYU kicking off on the island. The Cougars have been practicing in blustery weather, which raises a concern. But come on, they're from Utah. So according to head coach Kalani Sitake, no snow is in the forecast this Christmas Eve.
Well, both teams have to play in the elements, so I'm not worried about it. I'm glad that we had some practice. It's actually spotty here because it was great weather for 5 minutes, and then the wind would pick up, and then the rain would come, and so I think we got everything but snow here, and we shouldn't have to worry about that on Tuesday.
No snow in Hawaii, thank goodness. But I mean, it might be challenging with the wind. Quarterback Zach Wilson is a little worried about that.
And a tough matchup for them tomorrow as well. Not an easy game.
Very much so. I mean, we're going to be in for a back-and-forth type battle tomorrow night.
Plus, if you're going all the way to Hawaii for a football game, you would hope that maybe you get a little beach time.
Yes.
Not today.
I know, not this time around.
All right, looking forward to that game tomorrow. You'll have full highlights.
I will.
Andrea.
I'll be here.
Awesome, thank you. We'll be right back.
This is Fox 13 News.
All right, welcome back, everyone. We just had to share this with you before we went tonight. This elementary school teacher in the Granite School District being welcomed home with open arms after successfully battling cancer. The district posted these pictures on Facebook of Mr. Todd Craycroft returning to Oakwood Elementary School to the scene of 1,000 origami cranes. Take a look there at them hanging.
Wow.
Students made those cranes just like a book about a Japanese girl battling cancer who made the cranes for healing purposes. So congratulations to Todd on his road to recovery.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Way to go to those students as well for doing all that work.
That's awesome. Really cool. All right, enjoy the eve before Christmas Eve, everyone. Quick Cast is next.
We'll see you tomorrow.